Hello everyone, this is Kenny from Tech and welcome back to the channel. So in this series of videos, we are learning Bootstrap version 5. And in this particular video, we are going to look at the grid system breakpoint. So in the last video, we looked at the grid system and we are going to look at the breakpoint. So let's go to the Bootstrap website, that's getbootstrap.com, and we are using version 5. So right over here, let's go to layout, and there's a section over here, breakpoint, and there are a number of information we can read over here. So it says the breakpoints are customizable width that determines how your responsive layout behaves across device or viewport sizes in Bootstrap. So primarily what this basically means is you can have your website being viewed on a desktop computer, or it can be viewed on a tablet or on a mobile phone. So in order to give this some perspective, let me come in here, what we've been working on, and let me right click and click on inspect. So when I click on inspect, now this is what we have. This is a layout of everything we've done so far. Now let's see how things will begin to look. So when I click on this dimension, and this is only going to appear this way if you're using Google Chrome. Now when I click on Galaxy 5, primarily this is how my website, based on this design, this is how this is going to look on a Galaxy 5 mobile device. So as you can see, this is how it's going to look. Now when I click on, let's choose iPhone 6, 7, 8 plus, this is how the website or this interface is going to look like. When I come to an iPhone X, this is how it's going to look like. Now these are all mobile devices, so they are kind of going to look like the same. But when I come to an iPad, as you can see, an iPad is going to be of a tablet screen size. So this is how this is going to look like. And that's basically what you have over here. So the breakpoint is going to customize the width of our screen size. So it's going to determine how responsive layouts behaves across devices or viewport sizes in Bootstrap. So down over here, these are the breakpoints available. So they all will have a prefix of either SM will be for the small size. Now in Bootstrap 5, you can see that the extra small has been taken out. So the extra small has been taken out, but then we have the small, we have the medium with a prefix of MD, a prefix of LG for large, a prefix of XL for extra large, and a prefix of XXL for extra large. And these are the various dimensions we have in here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back here and we are going to see how things are going to look for the different screen sizes. So right about here, let me just put out a container. So let's say we have a div of class container, and inside of the container, let's have our row, and let's also do an my-5. All right, and let me just put out a text over here. So let's say we have an h3, and let's say we have Grid Breakpoint. All right, so this is going to be this text. Let me add in here a class of txt-center. At least let's start things up a little bit. All right, so we are still within the row. Let's have a call. So let's do a call dash. And previously what we used to do was, for instance, we would do something like call dash 8, and let's say we have call 1 as a text over here, and that's what we have over here. And I came back to, let's say, do a background, let's say bg dark, then I'll do something like a txt-white, and I'll do a txt-center, then I'll do, let's say, a pattern of 5. When I save it, this is what we've been working with so far. And as you can see, since it is a call 8, you can see that it is leaving some allowance over here for the other call to come in. So when I do a shift alt and a down arrow key to duplicate this, I can now do a call 4, and here we have the second call. So let me change this text to 2 and save. All right, then remember, in order to have that kind of separator around it, we give it a border. So I'm going to do a border dash white Then I'll do a border dash 5. So I'll save it. And we covered all of these in the previous videos. So I'll just copy this. I'll do a Control C and come in here and come and paste it over here. All right. So this is looking exactly what or how we wanted it to look. Now, first of foremost, let me just clear this so that we have an equitable distribution of the calls. Now let me just copy this and I'll do a Control C and a Control V, Control V, Control V, and I'm of them over here. So I'll save, and I have, let me do the numbering over here too. All right, so we have from call 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right. So now this is what we want to do. Now, when I open this up for the large screen size, this is what we have. When it gets a little bit smaller, you can see that call 7 will automatically adjust. Then when it gets a little bit smaller, you can see that call 6 will also adjust with call 7. Okay, and it can go on and on. So this is by default what has been given to us. Okay, we can actually enforce it into a particular pattern of our preference. Okay, so to start off with, this is going to be the extra large breakpoint. The extra large breakpoint. So for the extra large, we would want to have from call 1 to 6 showing up, and call 7 will just be displayed under it. Okay, and this is what I mean. So in order to do so, we all have to come to the call 1. So in order to have 6 of them showing up, then we have to divide 12 by 6. So 12 divided by 6 is going to be 2. So that every call will now have a demarcation of 2. So what I'm going to do over here is, inside of call 1, instead of just doing call and leaving it blank, I can now do call dash XL. That's the extra large screen size. Then I'll do 2. So when I do call dash XL dash 2, all that I'm trying to say is, for the extra large screen size, I want this to take 2. Now, if you are very observant, there's a slight shift going on around, but it's only going to make sense if we finish up everything. So let me continue over here and let me just copy this. So I'll do a Control C and I'll bring it over here to here as well. Here to and this is the call 6. So when I save this, now you can see that we have call 1 to 6 showing up over here. That's the demarcation we've done. And call 7 is automatically taking up the row or the section under it. And that's because there's no room for a demarcation of 2 over here. So in order to make sense out of this, then for this call 7 text as we have over, we can do call XL-12 so that this will be enforced. All right. Now, when I shrink this up, this is the extra large screen size. When I come to the large screen size, I would also want to have a call 1 to 3 showing up on the first row or the first section and 4 to 6 beneath it. Okay. So in order to get that done, we need to once again come in here with a call 1, and I'm doing it step by step so that we know how we go about this. So I'll just come in here and do a call dash LG dash. So the LG is the prefix for large, and because I just want to have 3 columns or 3 columns showing up over here, I have to divide 12 by 3. So that means each call is going to have a demarcation of 4. So I can do call LG4. Then I'll copy this, Control C, and I'll bring it over here, and I'll bring it over here as well. So when I save this, you can see that we are not having any change over here as of now, because this is still within the extra large screen size. Now when I shrink it a little bit further down, now you can see that we have this call 1, 2, 3 on one particular line. Now as you can see, we have call 4, 5, 6, 7 all displaying as if they are picking up the entire 12, but that's not what we want primarily. We also want to maintain 4, 5, 6 on the same line. So in order to do that, we still have to bring in the call LG4 over here. Then we will do another call LG4 over here, and we are also going to have a call LG4 over here. Now for this call, we can do call LG, we can do another 12 over here, so that no matter what, this is still going to take up 12. So when I open it up this way, you can see that this is the extra large screen size. Remember, for the extra large, we wanted 6 over here. Okay, so we give 2 times 6 is going to be 12. Now when we came into the large screen size, we wanted 3 over here, so we give it 4, 4, 4, making up 12, and it included this as well. Now when we get into the medium screen size, let's give the medium screen size for the call 1 and call 2, we are going to do 2 over here. So in order to do that, for the medium screen size, we'll come back to the very top over here, and I'll do call, let me come down so that we see it. I'll do call -md, and I'll do 6 because I want to divide the 12 into 2 equal parts. So I'll do call md6. I'll copy this and bring this over here. And now when I save with the medium screen size, now you can see that we have call md6. Okay, so this is showing up over here. Now beneath this, I want to have call 3, 4, 5 all within one section. So that means I want to have 3 of these beneath this. So that means I'm going to divide 12 into 3. That means I'm going to have the same 4, 4, 4 like I did with the first one. So over here, all I'm going to do is, this is going to be the call 3. Okay, so I'll do call -md-4. Then I'll copy this. I'll do a Control-C. I'll bring it down here, Control-V, and I'll bring it down here as well. So when I save this, now you can see that this is taking its portion of 1/3 of it. This is also taking its portion of the 1/3. Now we haven't applied it over here, and that's why this is not fitting. And that's with the what we have over here. I think I made a mistake. So a Control-V, and now when I save, we have this showing up over here. So it doesn't matter what the default brings us, we can actually change it as we move along. So now let me open things up. Now when we open it up very well, this is the extra large screen size. We are getting this to display 2 each over here. So we are going to do a call -LG, sorry, a call -XL-2, so that we can have 6 over here, and this was taking up 12. Now when we shrink it down a little bit to the large screen size, this is the large screen size, we had a call -LG-4, so that we can have 3 on each section over here. Then further down into the medium screen size, we are getting this particular layout. All right, then we can also do for the SM. So the SM is going to be the small screen size, and this is basically like the mobile version of everything we are going to look like. Now in subsequent videos, we are going to look at more practical application of some of these things. All right, but before we end this particular video, I'd want to show something, and that's very interesting. So now let's go to twitter.com, and I'm not by any means saying that this Twitter interface was designed using Bootstrap, but basically we can apply some of the concepts over here into some of the things we see on an everyday website. So let's once again try and shrink this up a little bit. All right, so this is the extra large screen size, and this is how Twitter is going to appear on our laptops. Now this is going to be like, just about here is going to be the tablet. Okay, just about here is going to be the tablet, and you can see that all of a sudden the section we had over here has been taken off. Okay, the trends has been taken off. I mean, it just disappeared at this particular breakpoint. Okay, then when we go further down, we can see that now this has been shifted to like a single column or like some kind of a bar showing up over here. And if we open this up, we now have this. It's the same with Facebook. It's the same with Facebook. Let's go to facebook.com. All right, so right over here, when I shrink this up a little bit, you can see that the layout begins to change. All of a sudden, things are beginning to disappear. Not that they've disappeared, but then they've been resized and the format is now different. And this is how some of these things work out in the practical world. Now let's go back to Twitter and let's try and do a design, not necessarily a design like this, but then just to mimic the rationale behind some of the things we see over here. So let's assume we are going to have a section like this. Let's say right at the back of this, let's say this is an equitable distribution. So let's say we have 4, 4, 4 over here. So we are getting 12. And as you can see, this I would say will be in a class container because of the margins we have on both ends. And let me just go ahead and do that. So let's say we have a Twitter-like interface. Let me put it that way. And let's just come down here and do a container. So I'll do a class of container. And let me have my row and let me have my my-5 so that I kind of separate this from this. And let me just have an h3 over here. And I'll say Twitter-like design. Okay. So this is just for the fun of it. So like I said, we have this call, and what I'm going to say, let's say we have this call as our links. Okay. So inside of the row, let's have this dot call dash, and let's do an XL. So the extra large screen size, we want 4. Okay. And let me have an H4 over here. So within this H4, I'll say quick links. And for this quick links, let's just have a UL with an LI, and let's say we have home. And let me duplicate this a number of times. So shift down arrow key. And this is just what I want to see. Okay, nothing more, nothing less. So just something like this. Let me kind of center this Twitter-like design. So I'll just do a class of txt dash center. And I'll save this. And let me also give a margin bottom so that's MB of 4. Okay. So I think we are in business, and I think the next section is going to be like the main feed. Okay. So the main feed is where we are going to have our tweets. So remember, we are all going to work within this row. Okay, because the role is going to be the parent class. So let me highlight on this, and we need to come to a call dash XL dash 4. And over here, let me have an H4, and I'm going to say main feed. So for the main feed, let me just have a paragraph, and I'll do a lorem ipsum dummy text over here. I'll save this, and that's just what we have over here for the main feed. Okay, and this is going to be like the trends. So let's just have also under this call, let's do a call dash XL dash 4, and in here I can have an H4, and I'll type in trends. And for the trends too, we can have a number of UL, and inside of this we have some kind of LI tags, and I'll say trend 1, and let me duplicate this. So I'll do a shift alt and a down arrow key, and let me just change this to 2, 3, and 4, and let me save this. All right, so this is what we have. Okay, now when I shrink this, okay, when I shrink this, you can see that over here, when it gets to, let's say, just about the medium screen size, the trends column will disappear. Okay, and in order to have that, currently what we have over here, when we get to the medium screen size, the trends column will display beneath this. Okay, and that's not what you want. We want this to disappear on the medium screen size. So what I can now do over here is on this, I can now do a d-none, and when I save this, you can see that this has been taken off. Okay, so this is basically the display none property. However, if I open it up, it is still not going to show because I'm saying display none. As you can see over here, I'm saying display now. Now, in order to have it on, let's say, the large screen size and also on the extra large screen size, so what I can do over here is I can just come in here and do, let's say, a d dash extra large. Okay, then I'll do block. So on an extra large screen size, I want to display it as block. Okay, and I can also do a d dash extra large, then I'll do dash block. Okay, and I can do a d dash the lg, and I'll do dash block as well. So on these three screen sizes, the extra large, the extra large, and the large screen sizes, I want to display it as block. So now when I save this, you don't seem to have any change over here because this is still the medium screen size. Now when I come and open it up onto the extra large screen size, or I think now this is about the large screen size, and see that we can display its block showing up over here. When I open it up further, we have it showing up over here. So this is now behaving just like this. When it is on the extra large screen size, we see it. When it gets to the large screen size, we see it. But however, this is about the large screen size, so we see the trends over here. Now when we get to the very medium screen size, then it gets off our view because the display is none over there. Okay, and we can go on and on. So these are perhaps maybe practical applications of some of these breakpoints, and it's important we know that there's also a display none property over here. And as we move along, we are going to see better use cases of some of these things, especially when we build the interface at the end of this project. So this is going to be the end of this video. Now, if you feel you are having value from this video, kindly subscribe to my channel and click on the notification button so that anytime I release a video, you'll be duly notified. Also, share this video with friends and family who find this content very useful. At Cambridge Tech, we say learn programming, you can do it. Bye bye, and catch you in the next video.